In this video, I'll discuss Q4 FY25 result and Concall of Awfis space solution. So, Awfis offers workspace solution to corporates, MNCs, SME, startups, and to freelancers. So in this space of co-working, there is only two big player. Okay, one is Awfis. Awfis have a market cap of 5,000 crore, and EFC, which I discussed in the last video, EFC has a market cap of 4,000 crore. So if we see in this space, the biggest players are small cap. So if we see the demand also in this sector, it is really good, and if we see the change in the behavior of corporates, that they are going to take more space in the rent. Okay, in spite of doing the whole capex on a building or anything. Okay, so this space have a really long way to go, and really they have really good tailwind behind them also. So that is the thing with the co-working space. And if we talk about the business model of these players like Awfis or EFC, let's talk about a corporate, what they can do or not. Okay, let's say if a corporate have a building or a office at in Bangalore, let's say, and they want to expand to a city like Lucknow, Guwahati, or anything. Okay, then what can do? One they can do is take a building on rent and then develop the whole building, like interior work, lighting work, furniture work. In this model, they have to do all the capex in the building. But one thing what this corporate can do is they can contact Awfis or EFC, and they can take a working space on lease for next few years. Like in this model, if they reach out to Awfis or EFC, they can take a whole space where they do not have to spend the money. Okay, the space is already designed in a beautiful way. The atmosphere is very good. Okay, so that is a thing they can do. So in the first model, where they have to do all the capex, the expenditure is very high there. Like they have to pay 8% rent and plus the whole capex. Okay, but in the second model, they just have to pay 12-13% of rental yield. Okay, so that is the thing. The upfront expenditure in the second model is zero, but in the first model, upfront expenditure is very high. So that is why more and more companies are doing the shift from the traditional way from this model. And let's say in the eyes of a freelancer or a professional also, let's say I am an equity research analyst. Okay, let's say I have 10-20 clients who have a portfolio of 20, 30, 40 lakhs. So let's say if I want to meet them offline, okay, then what do I want? That I have to give them the best experience. So then one thing I can do is take a office or take a space or like a building. I mean, not a building, like flat. Take a flat on rent and then do the interior or do the whole capex, where the expenditure is very high for a freelancer or a professional. But what can I do with Awfis? I can go to their website, I can book a slot for a meeting room, and that cost me around 700 1000 kind of per hour rate. So that would be very less and affordable. So and one more thing is important here, that there is canteen, there is cook for everyone. So I can order some cold drinks, can order some snacks for my clients and all. So the atmosphere is very good there. If I have to make that kind of atmosphere at my office or flat, then I have to expend then I have to expend very high amount of money. So that is the thing with office and EFC, the co-working space model. This is the model these businesses are doing. Okay, so if I talk about more with office, that office, if we see the ROCE of office, it is very high uh, compared to EFC. But why the ROC is high compared to EFC is because of their managed aggregation model. Office mainly, one thing they are doing mainly, that they are like, if we see Kollan, if we see PN Gargil, they are doing what? They are expanding more and more into franchise model. Okay, in spite of doing the whole capex, they are doing franchise model, and office is also doing that. They are contacting a landlord who have a reasonable space in their land or in their house or flat, and from there what they are doing, that they are telling their landlord that you do the all capex. So office do not have to do any kind of capex. Landlord takes care of the capex, the interior work. Capex means the interior work, lighting work and all. So that is the thing. That is why office do not have to do the capex or do the expenditure work. The landlord do all the capex, and in terms of revenue, 50% is landlord and 50% is for office. So office is mainly doing what? Mainly doing the middleman work, if we see, because the whole capex is on the landlord. And but what office is doing, they are aggregating the customers, they are getting the customers to the landlord. So that is the thing office is doing. That is why their ROC is better if we see compared to the EFC. Okay, so that is the main thing. And their 67% seats are managed aggregation model. And if we talk about the office overview, they are present in 18 cities. They have 230 centers as of FY25, and they have total 3000 active clients, and 40% of those clients are multi-center clients. Like if a big corporate joins office, okay, then they have office in Bangalore, they have office in Mumbai, they have office in Delhi, they can have a office in Kolkata also. So that is the thing with office, and 40% is a big number. That is why if we see this 40% number is very important also, because multi-center means what? If I am a corporate and I have contract with a company for a multi-center, the possibility of retention becomes greater. Okay, so that is also a good thing, that 40% of their clients are multi-center clients. Okay, and 66% of the clients are MNC clients, and 66% is a good amount of number if we see, and that is also a really important thing, that the greater the MNC numbers are, the more stability in margins, stability in revenue becomes. So that is the thing with Office. Okay, and mainly IT companies are doing this kind of work. Like 45% clients are IT clients, then 12% is professional services, 11% is BSFI. So that is the thing with the Office. And in the last quarter, NSE also joins Office. So that is also a really good thing, that the NSE is like a really big company in India, and if they are trusting Office, it is a really good thing. Okay, so let's talk about the Q4 FY25. At first, revenue, they grew their revenue by 46% in Q4 year on year. They registered a revenue of 340 crore, and if we see in the past also, they grew their revenue by 40% in FY25, and the guidance for and one another thing is that in FY25 they grew by 40%, in FY24 they grew by 50%. So their revenue growth is really consistent if we see, and if we see their guidance also, they are talking about 30% guidance for the next year. But one thing is really good with the management is that in the last year also they gave a guidance of 30%, 30 to 35%, and they done a growth of 40%. Okay, so if we see, they are outperforming their guidance. So this year also they are giving a guidance of 30%. So we can expect a outperformance. Yeah, it is absolutely, we cannot we should not predict the future. We have to track the company, that where the company is going, if the company is going in a right track or not. If not, then we have to move out from that company. Okay, but yeah, they are doing really consistently if we see the growth number. So that is the thing with revenue. And occupancy if we see, the overall occupancy is 73%, and if we see the 12-year vintage centers, like it means that the centers which are older than 1 year, if we see the occupancy there, that is around 84% in FY25. So that is a really good number if we see. Yeah, EFC have a occupancy number of 90%, Office have a occupancy number of 84% in terms of the vintage centers, but in terms of the occupancy, overall occupancy, that is low if we see. But yeah, there is a room for improvement for Office. So let's see where the occupancy number goes, and it is a really important number if you see. The greater the occupancy number becomes, the greater the chance of margin improvement, profit growth will be more. So that is the thing with occupancy. Okay, and if I talk about the expansion, they already registered, signed the LOI with 13 new centers. Okay, and 11,000 seats. So the expansion number is really good. Expansion is good, and in terms of seat, they in this FY25 they increased their seat by 40%. They added total of 40,000 seats in FY25, and they are management is saying that they will add another 40,000 in FY26 also. So the growth in seat number should be around 35% in FY26. Okay, so that is also a really good thing that the growth is intact. And yeah, I think it is in a conservative way. The management is talking this in a conservative way. And if we see the demand side, they already signed contracts for 13,000 seats in Q4 FY25, and that is also a good thing that 40,000 seats will be there and will be added in the portfolio in the next year. Okay, and already 13,000 have been signed, so that is also a good thing that the demand is good. And if we talk about the EBITDA margin, they done a EBITDA margin of 34% in Q4 FY25, increased EBITDA margin by 5%. If we see 523 basis point year on year increase in EBITDA margin, so that is also a really good thing. And the management is saying that the margin will be intact in the next year also and may increase in the future also. So that is also a good thing. The operating leverage may come in the next year also. That is the EBITDA margin. And PAT, in terms of PAT, FY25 is the first year where they done a PAT positive. Okay, so that is also a good thing that the profitability is really good, really growing. If we see, because in FY24 they were in loss, but in FY25 they are in profit, and that is a really good thing that they are profitable now. And PAT margin also they are saying that should expand or may hold this position. So that is the PAT margin number. And ROC, they done a ROC of 78% in Q4 FY25 and 62% in FY25. Last year ROC was 43%, so there is a huge increase in ROC because of their model. Okay, and in FY23 their ROC was 25%, so nearly 2.5% increase in ROC in 2 years. So that is a really good thing in terms of the profitability. Okay, and the main thing behind the increase in ROC is the MA model that they are doing, because if we see EFC, their ROC is around 25%, but it is 62% for Awfis, so that is a huge number. And Awfis is doing another thing, it is a backward integration, is that they have done a contract with Ecos Mobility. Okay, it is a listed player in the NSE and BSE, maybe NSE and BSE both. And what they are doing that, like they are Awfis is serving whom? To MNCs, to corporates, and corporates have a huge number of employee. Okay, and their transportation is also one of the main thing, because if we see Awfis, they are also present in the tier 2 cities, and in tier 2 cities the transportation becomes sometimes the transportation becomes a problematic thing with the employee, with the MNCs, corporates, that sometimes the public transport are not good in tier 2 cities. So Awfis is doing, they are offering the offering the transportation to these MNCs with the help of Ecos Mobility. So the employees of this company do not have to worry about the transportation. They have to like we see all the MNCs have like buses for their employee uh, to reach their home and take them from home to office and office to their home. So that is also office is doing. They are integrating their business, because yeah, if we see in this business, transportation is one of the main thing. Okay, so that is office is doing. And yeah, from this business also they can generate some kind of revenue in the future. So that is the thing. And at the last I will talk about the market condition uh, that the management is saying, that they are saying that this co-working space will grow 20 to 25% CAGR for next 5 years. So if the market is growing 20 to 25% CAGR, why cannot the top player in the space grow about 40, 50, 60%? That is really a big possibility that they can grow about 40, 50, 60% for next 5 years, because the whole market is growing. Okay, 20 25% is not a small number for a whole market. Yeah, it is right that the market is very small, but again the main thing is that these are the big players, and Office have 230 centers all over the India. uh, so um, as much as they grow, as much as they open new centers, the big MNCs also will join them fast, because the option for office option for those MNCs with office becomes larger, because if they want to relocate their workspace from a city to another city, they can do it easily, because office have the centers all over India. So that is a really important thing. That is why I am saying, if the market is growing about 20-25% and will grow 20-25% for next 5 years, so why cannot the top players in this sector cannot grow about 40-50%? So yeah, that is absolutely a possibility that the growth will be intact. So that is the thing. And one other thing, the management is saying that these companies like these MNCs not only shifting to co-working space model because of the cost, but also to gather those I mean talents, or some environment and all. So if we see the cost is low, they can gather employable talents in tier 2 cities, tier 1 cities. That is the main thing that the management is saying, that the enterprises are adopting this model faster. So that is a really good thing. And if we talk about the tier 2 city, uh, because office have some centers in the tier 2 cities, EFC do not have office EFC do not have centers in tier 2 cities. If I am not if I am if I am right, okay. If I am right, then EFC do not have any of center in tier 2 cities. Office is doing some centers, opening some centers in tier 2, because the management is saying that if the economy now the GDP of India is 4 trillion, and if the GDP is going to be 10 trillion then the incremental growth should come from the biggest 10 biggest tier 2 cities. Okay, so that is why Office is uh, also focusing in the tier 2 cities, because if we see tier 1 cities, they are like at the saturation point. Like tier 2 cities are what, like is Bank, and tier 2 cities are what, IDFC Bank. Okay, so that is the thing, that tier 1 city is also growing, that is also growing at a like 5-6%, but tier 2 city can grow about 10%, 12%, 15%. So that is why Office is expanding towards tier 2 cities also. And see, all the big MNCs have office have centers in tier 2 cities. Their corporate office are in tier 1 cities. Most of the MNCs have in tier 2 1. But if they want to expand, they have to go in tier 2 cities, because the cost is lower there. The talent is more there if we see in tier 2 cities. So that is why Office is going to open centers in tier 2 cities also. So that is the thing with Office, and that is the Q4 FY25 for Office. And let's talk about the valuation. Their P is at 68x, and they are growing about 40%. So the I mean, opportunity is good. Yeah, the rating opportunity may not be there. Okay, because the P is already high, 70%, 70x P is there, but the result is really consistent for Office. They are beating their guidance in last year also, and in FY24 also they have done a good amount of work in terms of growth. And if we see EFC also, the rating opportunity lies with EFC more, but this both of these players can go a long way. If we see, as I said, the segment is very small, very new, and the all MNCs, all corporates are shifting towards the co-working space model. So that is why the opportunity is there in both of these companies. If they can execute their plans, if they can execute their guidance, then yeah, they have a long way to go. And yeah, we have to track these companies quarter after quarter, that where the trend is going or not. So that is the thing with these companies. So that's it for the video. Thanks for watching.